This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's KFI AM 640, and you're listening to The Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app.
Is Kris at the fire yet? Kris Adler? Okay, all right. She's out there at the Trabuco Canyon fire. They're calling that the airport fire. Not that there is an airport nearby, but there's guys that go out there and fly these model airplanes. And I am praying to God that one of these guys either wasn't smoking or his little tiny plane didn't crash and started this fire. It's too hot to fly those little planes around. So let's talk to Kris Adler and see what's going on. Kris, how are you? You there?
Tim, yeah, you know what? It like you said, can you hear me?
Yeah, let me put you on hold here, see if we can get a better connection because right now it's all distorted. And I remember...
It's underwater.
I remember in 1969, Croge, I don't want to date myself here. I was a young child. But I remember the moon landing, or so to speak, the moon landing, quote unquote, moon landing. And I could clearly hear what those chaps were saying on the moon. And Kris Adler is literally 60 miles from where we are. There you go, Kris. Much better connection. You're up.
Can you hear me, Tim?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Okay. Yes. So, yes. So, like you said, we're out here. I'm at the command post with OC Fire Authority at Station 18. We have a pretty clear view of the fire. They have hundreds of firefighters on scene, and they say they'll be fighting throughout the night and tomorrow. If it continues, they'll have about 1,000 firefighters on scene to battle this fire. Now, like you mentioned, this is being called the airport fire, but it's not an airport that's on fire. It's near a remote controlled airport area where people do fly those remote controlled airplanes. Right now, it is 0% surrounded. However, no homes or buildings are in immediate threat. It's burning upwards and away from homes, according to OC Fire Authority. And so people have voluntarily evacuated in some areas. In some areas, it was mandatory, but right now, firefighters say there's no immediate threat to any homes or buildings.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. So this fire is moving away from all homes. It's moving. If it continues, it'll go over the mountain and burn into Riverside and San Bernardino. Hopefully they get a beat on this. But is there any evacuations? It looked like the closest homes weren't that close to the fire.
Right. So there were evacuation warnings that are still in effect. Some are mandatory evacuations. We see people coming down with their horses and their trailers, people walking their horses down. The streets are closed off to the public, so people going out. Firefighters say they will not be able to get back into their homes, but they can stay in their homes, watch the fire from a distance. But right now, the fire department says everybody's safe. It is a large fire. It's burned more than 1,900 acres in a matter of 3.5 hours. So it spread very quickly. Part of the wind, there's some wind out here. It is very dry, which is probably why they're saying this fire picked up and spread so quickly. Lots of dry brush in this area, Tim.
Sure.
They've got multiple aircraft in the air right now. Helicopters. Their OC Firehawk, the new helicopter, can drop 1,000 gallons of water, and it can go and pick up water quickly after it dumps the water. It can return fairly quickly, picking up from different reservoirs in the area. So they have at least, I'm looking at 4 different aircraft in the sky right now that are battling this fire.
Excellent. All right, Kris, we appreciate, we'll let you go and gather more information and check back with you. Kris, really appreciate you coming on. That is cool. All right, here is the update on these fires. According to CAL FIRE, and again, Kris Adler is out at the Trabuco Canyon fire. So let me write that down. I got to find out. I got to keep track of where everybody is here. We got Corbin Carson on a fire, and when we also have Kris Adler. Okay. All right. So here is the latest, ladies and gentlemen. This is just an update that happened at 5:08 p.m. So 3 minutes ago. This is an update 3 minutes old. Let's start with the airport fire. That's the one that Kris Adler's at. That's the one that's burning in Trabuco Canyon. And that fire started at 1 o'clock, right just after 1, about 1:21. And it was only about 200 acres when firefighters got out there. It is now approaching 2,000 acres. 2,000 acres. That's the airport fire out there in northeast Orange County. And Trabuco Canyon, Rancho Santa Margarita is out there as well, along the 241. That's the toll road out there. So that's the fire that a lot of people in Orange County are worried about and looking at. Then we have the smaller bridge fire. And that one is at 1,255 acres, 0% contained. Evacuation orders, an immediate threat to life. This is an order by law enforcement to leave immediately if you're in that area. And then we have the East Fork communities and the Camp Williams and River community. Those are the two areas that are most affected. Okay, then we have the Sunset Fire, the one that nobody's talking about, but if you live in Riverside, you know what I mean, 50 acres. It is between Beaumont and Banning, just south of the 10 freeway there. South of the 10 freeway, closer to Banning, but between Banning and Beaumont. That's the Sunset Fire. Now, the major one, the big one that can find its way up to Arrowhead, Lake Arrowhead, and also Big Bear if it gets rolling. And right now it's 3% contained, 23,601 acres, 3% contained. No cause of any of these fires. And we have a status report here as well. There's evacuation orders on this fire. The orders of, all underdeveloped land east of Highway 330, north of Highland Avenue. You got to get out. The areas of Running Spring, east of Highway 330 and south of Highway 18. Everybody knows 330 and 18. If you went to Big Bear, if you've ever been to Big Bear or Arrowhead, chances are you won one or both of those highways. The communities of Running Springs and Arrow Bear Lake, those are evacuated. There's an immediate threat to life there. North of Highland Avenue and east of Palm Avenue, that's Highway 330, I believe, on that one. And then Garnett Street, that's east to 38 and Mill Creek. So Forest Falls is in that area, Mountain Home Village, you have Seven Oaks up there. And all those areas, they want you out. So evacuation warnings and evacuation orders as well. First, they start with the warnings. Then they have the orders. And once you're out, though, you're out. And it might be a week or 2 or 3 before you can get back in there, depending on how quickly they can put this fire out. They've got plenty of, a ton of helicopters, a lot of planes on it as well. And so we're going to continue to watch these fires. We have 4 major fires. And then I just got word, Crozier. I don't know. Somebody just texted me and said there's a fire in Chatsworth. Is that possible?
I'll check into it.
All right.
I saw it briefly mentioned on Fox 11.
Okay. A small fire in Chatsworth. Oh, boy. The North Valley. I'm going to look out the window. We can see that from here. All right. We continue. Thank God we're going to run into cooler temperatures this week, everybody. These 100 degrees, we're done with them. We've had it. 104 today in Burbank. Tomorrow, 95. Then 82 for the San Fernando Valley. Listen to this. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 82, 79, 79, 82, 81. And then by Monday, 73 degrees will be the high. 57 will be the low. Hopefully, we'll be getting into fall. Some fall weather. But we have had it. And thank God all 5 of these fires didn't start last week in the teeth of this heat wave. We're live on KFI AM 640.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
Let's go right to ABC Channel 7. They have an update on the Trabuco Canyon fire.
Live in Air 7 over the fire. Kris.
Kris
Ellen,
Christie.
this is a massive, fast-moving brush fire, a new one here in Orange County. This is called the Airport Fire, and it started just about 2 hours ago. You can see very, very heavy flames burning through thick brush just to the east of Robinson Ranch here in Trabuco Canyon. They've just issued some voluntary evacuation orders for Rose Canyon Road, Trabuco Creek Road, Trabuco Creek, Trabuco Canyon Road, Trabuco Oaks Drive, Joplin Loop, and Cook's Corner. That is the Robinson Ranch there where county authorities are staging. There are multiple air assets assigned to this fire. The city of Orange and the city of Anaheim are assisting the Orange County Fire Authority in fighting this fire. Right now, the winds are blowing in the opposite direction away from the Trabuco Canyon neighborhood, but a slight shift in the winds, and it's a whole different story here. So we're going to keep a very close eye on this fast-moving brush fire. Again, very ominous sight here in Orange County. Reporting live from Air 7, I'm Kris Christie, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, that's Kris Christie with ABC Channel 7. Fox is all over it as well, so is Channel 4. But we're getting video footage from a lot of these stations. But we are keeping an eye on all four of these major fires for you. We've got the Bridge Fire, the Line Fire, Sunset Fire, and then the something brewing in Chatsworth. And it doesn't seem to be a major fire, but that's always a tough area again to fight a fire in the Chatsworth area.
They were able to contain that fire.
Oh, good. All right, excellent. Yes, over 150 firefighters battled flames in extreme triple-digit heat, where flames quickly spread through the dry and preheated vegetation. Crews initially stopped forward progress, but a sudden increase in the wind caused embers to jump over the containment lines. This is the Chatsworth fire, and continue to grow. Ultimately, crews were able to stop the spread at approximately 10 acres, narrowly saving several homes that back up against the wildlands there. 3 firefighters were transported to a local hospital in fair condition with heat-related illness symptoms. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. All right, so that's good news. That is fantastic news that they got that and they whipped that fire pretty quickly. These other fires, they are rolling, and we're going to have updates all night long. We got the Bridge Fire, and I know if you can't keep up on these, the Line Fire is up in the Arrowhead, San Bernardino Mountains. The Bridge Fire is closer in the Azusa, Glendora area. And then we have the Airport Fire, which is out Trabuco, and then the Sunset Fire, which is in Riverside. And so we're keeping an eye on all 4 of these. But the Bridge Fire out near Crozier, that Claremont area, you could probably see that off the 210 freeway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, going east or west.
The Bridge Fire is spreading rapidly in the Angeles National Forest after it erupted Sunday afternoon in the East Fork area near Cattle Canyon Bridge and Camp Bonita Road. People living nearby in the Camp Williams Resort and River community have been ordered to evacuate.
Could you see this fire from your home, Crows?
Yeah, we can see the smoke from it, yes.
Oh,
absolutely.
boy.
We can see both.
Oh,
we just look in one direction.
Ah.
Due to the erratic, out of control.
Oh, yeah, you could probably see the Line Fire, clearly.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Due to the erratic, out of control fire behavior.
So I'm worried. Well, I haven't slept. I'm tired. It's very close. It's probably within a mile.
Onofre Gonzalez says he's monitoring.
What's the guy's name?
Onofre Gonzalez says he's monitoring.
Oh, I thought they said No Freak Gonzalez.
Onofre Gonzalez.
Onofre is his name. Sorry.
Onofre Gonzalez says he's monitoring the fire activity, but for now he's staying along with most of his neighbors.
Yes, guys stay. Guys stay. They want to fight that fire and save their house.
It is very scary. It's like you're starting into a storm, and until you get to the end of that storm, you got to ride it through.
We're safe, thankfully, and I'm nervous, but not in the fear state where I feel like we have to leave, you know.
Kathy Ann Gamboa says she's prepared to pack up her horses, family, and dog if it gets worse.
Wow, like a zoo.
Kathy Ann Gamboa says she's prepared to pack up her horses, family, and dog if it gets worse.
You know, the most important thing is like my family's safety and my horse safety, so that's the priority. But
what happened to the dog? The dog didn't get a mention as a priority.
My family's safety and my horse safety, so that's
Where's that
the
dog?
priority. But if I felt like the need to come down the hill with the horses, I would do so immediately.
An excessive heat warning has been issued for the area.
Yeah, horses, you got to really be careful with horses. Because, look, I love horses, and I know a lot of horse owners, but they are not a very bright animal. I think a lot of people don't know horses will agree with that. And they're the only animal that will run out of a barn when it's on fire and then run right back into the barn.
Oh, no.
While
really?
it's on fire. Yeah. You got to be very careful with horses. And they have eyes on the side of their head because they're prey animals.
Old motels across Southern California
and so they can't see what's directly in front of them. And so horses freak out during fires because they cannot see what's directly in front of them. Their blind spot is right in front of them, and they can't see anything. And so when they start to smell smoke and they start to see fire, they flip out. They flip out.
Scorching temperatures, windy conditions, and the steep and rugged terrain are creating challenges for the firefighters, who are aggressively fighting it on the ground and in the air. Crews have been using water from the Morris Reservoir and are focused on preventing further spread to the south, which is closer to structures and mountain communities.
My 2 houses are up against the mountains, so when I see it come over that mountain, then it's time to leave.
And you can see that smoke.
You know, that's a California thing, where a guy does a quick brag on how many houses he has. You know, his 2 houses.
Right? So.
You know, one of the things that there's a German guy that came to the United States, and he says, here's 12 things that I was kind of shocked at by how Americans talk. And he said one of them on that list of 12 was how freely everyone talks about how much money they have in this country.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I got a couple houses. Yeah. I got a couple of cars. I own a triplex in the Wilmington area. And I got a little mini mall out in Simi Valley and Cleaners that I own out in the Antelope Valley area. Yeah,
couple timeshares, vacation homes.
Yeah, I'm pretty wealthy. I worked my ass off. I got a lot of money. I got a lot of property. You'll like me. You'll like me. You'll enjoy me. You'll
I'm pretty
enjoy
good.
me.
I'm pretty nice. I'm pretty awesome.
That's right. I'm sensational, man. I'm sensational. I'm really great.
Which is closer to structures and mountain communities.
My 2 houses are up against the mountain.
My 2 houses. Wasn't that a TV show? Or no, is it My 3 Sons? I don't know.
So when I see it come over that mountain, then it's time to leave.
And you can see that smoke just above the mountains from the fire. My photographer, Sean Browning, and I, we drove up to the Camp Williams Resort.
By the way, I like this reporter who gave the cameraman who does all the work out there, gave him a shout out. That's she deserves an atta girl for that.
And you can see that smoke just above the mountains from the fire. My photographer, Sean Browning, and I.
Sean Browning out there working his ass off to make these reporters look great.
For Sean Browning and I, we drove up to the Camp Williams Resort, which is 8 miles from here, where that heavy smoke is causing unhealthy air quality, and there's just ashes falling everywhere. People are being encouraged to wear a mask when outside. I should also mention that the mountain communities had their power turned off yesterday because of this fire, so they are relying on generators, which is necessary because with this excessive heat, they are running their air conditioning.
We're keeping an eye on all of these fires: Bridge Fire, Line Fire, Sunset Fire, all of them, and the airport fire as well. The Chatsworth fire is over, so we can stop worrying about that. Let me make a note here. Chatsworth fire is over. Okay, so we got the airport fire, Sunset Fire, Line Fire, and Bridge Fire. We'll take care of those, all 4 of those for you here on KFI.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
He used to fly for Channel 5, and I think he's the last guy that piloted the plane and also reported. I don't know if anybody else does that anymore. Anyway, so we'll, what is that?
Doesn't Mike O'Brien?
No, I hope not. I hope he's not flying that plane. I gotta believe he's not. All right, Tim Lynn is with us. Used to fly. He was a police officer. He flew for Orange County Sheriff's Department, flew for KTLA, and he's with us. How are you, bub?
I'm doing good, buddy. How are you?
I'm okay, man. Can you see the Orange County, the airport fire from your house?
Yeah, I can. Matter of fact, I was upstairs this morning when it kicked off and saw the plume come up, and then I started getting pictures from my daughter's house, who's right there at El Toro and the 241.
Oh, wow.
Asking me, do I need to leave?
Yes.
Yeah,
the answer is
really
yes.
close.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you some questions here because, I'm watching this. I have this website popped up here, and I can see almost in real time these helicopters and planes flying around. How do they keep these guys from banging into each other?
Well, the fire traffic areas, it's called, is set up in a tiered type arrangement. So the first aircraft on scene will take control and establish the fire traffic area. And what it does is it makes layers for the helicopters, layers for the tankers, and then above it all will be an aircraft called an air attack, which is just a small airplane, usually a twin engine that flies around in circles and coordinates all the activity on the ground. So you have the separations between the different aircraft. So, and outside of that, and usually over the top of it, you'll have the media, so they sit above and out of the way. But the procedures to get into this is you have to call 20 miles out, reporting inbound to the fire.
Oh, wow.
They will tell you to go to an area and hold. And then when they have like the big tankers coming in, like the MD-80 or the new C-130s they're using now, they'll hold them out, get the helicopters out of the way, bring the fixed wing in to make their drops. Once the fixed wings are out of the way, the helicopters will come in below and to clean up the edges, because the fire retardant works really well, but you need that low level water dropping going on to support it to keep the fire from jumping the line.
I mean, watching these aircraft, not so much the helicopters, when these aircraft, dump a load of 3,000 gallons, that's 24,000 pounds. I can't imagine the stress on the structure of that plane that has.
Yeah, it does. You're dropping off a large weight from that aircraft. Yeah. The wings are bent up because they're holding that weight, and all of a sudden they come out. But these firefighting aircraft are operated by CAL FIRE, and they're inspected after every fire that they go out. The pilots are only allowed to fly so many hours at a time over fires or in support of a fire. And then I don't know their policies as far as when the aircraft has to be checked for structural damage or anything of that sort. But, I've seen multiple videos where a fire, especially there's one with the C-130, it comes in, starts to make a drop, and then starts pulling out, and both wings just fold. And that does happen, but it's just from that stress that you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, I believe that what I was told, it's 9 pounds per gallon for the fire retardant. So water is about 8.5. and that extra 0.5 for the retardant. So they're dropping a pretty good load coming out of there. But like I said, they have a pretty robust inspection regime for those aircraft.
Right. Tim Lynn's with us, pilot and reporter. I think you're the last. Does anybody fly and report still?
Not anymore. They're all to what we refer to. They're a camera operator or self-loading baggage.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So you calling them cowards. I get it.
No. It's a good day when they don't hurt themselves getting in. That's just what I look at.
All right. Do we have does CAL FIRE, do they have the technology to use the aircraft, the planes at night?
Yes, they do. Matter of fact, they have that coming online the last couple of years.
Okay.
The Colson Firefighting Company, who contracts with the CAL FIRE, they have that big C-47, 47. That's a big twin engine or twin rotor helicopter. That's a night dropping helicopter. You have a couple of private companies will do it, and now the Orange County Fire is into night drops, as well as L.A. County Fire. L.A. County Fire was pretty much the first to do that. They would fight fires at any time of the day or night. And then finally CAL FIRE caught up with that. But there was a lot of restrictions at the beginning that really made it hard for them to do it, because it is very dangerous. In fact, I was just up in these mountains in the same area as this fire right now doing my night vision goggle training just Saturday night. And just flying with no stress is hard enough, let alone trying to drop a load of fire, not hit wires, and not get caught in a thermal. So it's pretty tough flying.
Hey, do they set up a pretty large do not fly zone, a restricted zone around these fires?
Yes, they do. They usually, I believe, if I remember right, the upper altitude is like 4,000 feet above the highest point of the fire. and it circles out depending on what the fire is, how much room they need for the aircraft to come in to be able to hold stage. And most of the time they're round, and they'll go out maybe 10 miles at the very widest. But like the one that's over the, I believe it's the line fire now, it's a big square box that just covers that whole area from the 15 all the way out to the 38, up to Big Bear and down to the 210. So it's a big area. They'll build those things pretty big when it's a large fire, and they have a lot of resources working. So it just is to keep the non-essential out.
Sure.
As a private pilot, you look that up just like you look up the presidential TFRs.
Right.
You look these up to make sure they're not in your way as you're going.
So if you're flying a helicopter and you're in that zone and air attack asks you nice to leave and you don't, is the second warning, do they swear at you?
They will make it very clear. But the problem is if you're an intruder, as they call it, they'll shut down the firefighting operation.
Oh, no.
Leave.
Oh,
So,
really?
And the same thing goes. Yeah, and the same thing goes with drones. If somebody up there, let's say in the Trabuco Canyon fire, somebody is sitting down on the bottom watching it, and they decide to launch their drone and send it up there to get some pictures. As soon as somebody sees it or it's detected, they shut down the operation for 30 minutes because that's the average battery life of a drone because it's so hard to see. So that's why they say it's a no-fly zone for drones. And if you're in an aircraft, they're going to yell at you on the radio and probably get up close personally to try to get you to leave because they will shut the operation down while you're in the area.
Buddy, I appreciate you coming on, go Kings, not Ducks, right?
Well, you had a long time to wait to see that first Kings game, but
no chicken. No chicken on that first game, buddy. No chicken.
October 16th.
No chicken. All right, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
I'm going to eat it right in front of you. Bye-bye.
All right. Hope you got money when you go to Chick-fil-A. Tim Lynn, big Ducks fan, and when the Ducks score 5 or more goals a game, they get free Chick-fil-A. And I keep texting him after every game. No chicken, buddy. No chicken. Nothing. Hope you starve with that free chicken. You better have a credit card or cash when you go to Chick-fil-A. No chicken for you. All right, we're live. We're keeping an eye on all of these fires. All 4 of the major fires burning. Bridge fire, line fire, the airport fire, and the Sunset fire. The smallest one is the Sunset fire. Haven't been able to get much update on that. The 3 big ones that are burning, bridge fire, line fire, Arrowhead, Big Bear area, and the airport fire in Trabuco Canyon. We will have updates all afternoon long.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
Let's go right to ABC News and see what they got, an update on this Trabuco fire, which they're calling the airport fire here.
Let's go to Chris Christie live in Air 7 over the fire. Chris.
Ellen, this is a massive, fast-moving brush fire, a new one here in Orange County. This is called the airport fire, and it started just about 2 hours ago. You can see very, very heavy flames burning through.
All right, this is an old piece of video. So as the updates come in, we will be getting them for you. We got the bridge fire, the airport fire, the line fire, and the Sunset fire. The line fire is the biggest one. That's the one they're very, very concerned about. That's the one that is going to, if it's not controlled soon and it starts rolling, it'll be going right into Arrowhead and Big Bear, Lake Arrowhead and Lake Big Bear and those surrounding communities. And man, do they are scared to death that this thing could start really rolling tonight and tomorrow. Right now, they're calling it the line fire. It's 23,600 acres have been consumed already, 3% contained. And then you have the bridge fire, the one that's in Los Angeles, Glendora and Azusa area, 1,250 acres. The airport fire is the newest one that started at 121. It originally was fairly small. I think it was 130 acres and first video that we saw. And now it's almost 1,300 acres. It is exploding out there. I'm sorry, they just changed it. Now it's 1,860 acres. As I was reporting that number, they changed it. 1,860 acres. Okay, so those are the fires. Not only are we being, consumed by news of these fires, but this heat wave that we've all been suffering through for the last 4, 5, 6 days, it's put a lot of people out of business when it comes to your electricity at home. A lot of people. And people are pissed. They're not taking it lying down. They're not saying, those things happen. They're angry as hell that this is going on.
The iconic Hollywood Bowl was actually left in the dark last night. One of the many victims of the power grid overload and power outage. That's actually canceled a KCRW concert that was going to be held last night, leaving a lot of unhappy ticket goers now.
Mark Thompson was one of them. He had a concert ticket.
He was going to that?
Yeah. That, what was it called? Real Love, Summer Love, Love? I don't know what it was. But it was some kind of crazy concert that they were having at the. Let's see what it was called here. It's an odd performance. Here it is. It was called Group Love.
No.
Group Love was I think it's one of the name. I think it's the name of the band that was there. Group Love, and they canceled it because they didn't have any electricity. And when Showtime was scheduled, 104 degrees.
Oof.
Sitting outside. I don't know if you saw Dodger Stadium yesterday, but Dodger Stadium, they usually get 50 to 56,000 people out there for a Sunday game.
Yay.
And because it was so hot, man, everybody was in the shade. Everybody was tucked up under the overhang there and sitting in the shade.
Oh, the upper part was completely empty?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But not only that, the grandstands in the outfield were empty.
All right.
There were people tucked up under the shade, and they're all sitting up there in the shade. But as you saw, as the game went on, they shut out Cleveland, by the way. As the game went on, and the sun was setting, and more rows were protected from the sun, and all of a sudden we're in the shade. You saw people moving down every inning. Another row would get full, another row, until they moved all the way down. But it's tough out there. We're not used to 5 straight days of 104 degrees. But you know what's really weird? By the fourth day, the first day it's 107. You want to, you just want to move. You want to get the hell out. But by day 4 or 5, you walk out and you're like, oh, it's only 104.
Yes.
Is that not weird?
Yeah.
It's weird, man. It really is. But the first day at 104. You just want to kill yourself. And then by day 4, you're like, okay, it's 104. I could deal with that. What the hell? Who cares? The highest I saw on my wife's car, 123 degrees. 123 degrees.
I haven't seen that.
That is crazy. All right, back to more fire updates with this heat wave.
Ticket goers now looking to get a refund. Thousands of people have been left in the dark, and even worse, in the heat. When overloaded grids, well, they simply stopped working. Areas hit hard include right here in Hollywood and Northridge. No surprise there, the San Fernando Valley seeing those triple-digit temperatures this weekend. While in the Watts and Green Meadow communities, their systems were also overloaded due to high demand. So there, they implemented 30 and 60-minute rotating power outages in parts of that neighborhood. As you mentioned, crews have been working round the clock. They're working this morning, but still thousands are without power. Let's take a look at some of the most recent numbers from Edison. They're now reporting 74 outages that affect 3,660 customers.
Oh, no. 36, almost 4,000 people with no electricity.
3,660 customers. Wow. That's down from over 6,600 reported early this morning.
And what a bad day. Bad weekend to be without electricity, man. Horrible, horrible day. A friend of mine who lives out in Thousand Oaks, his electricity went out, and he tucked into the Four Seasons out there. I think it's the Four Seasons out there. And he's still there. But I got to warn the people who run the Four Seasons. He's a track guy. And I don't know if he's got the money for the Four Seasons. After day 5, you might just see his taillights without hitting the desk to even up on the charges and the bill. I'm just telling you, you got to make sure you have a credit card on some of these guys before they check into your hotel. Because this guy could, what is the equivalent of dine and ditch when it's a hotel? Sleep and scram. I don't know what it is, but there's got to be a term for it. There's got to be some kind of
Eat
term.
and evacuate?
Yeah, that may be. I think that's me.
While the Department of Water and Power reports over 13,000 customers as of Sunday last night around 10 o'clock, no power.
13,000 customers without power in this crazy heat wave.
Power reports over 13,000 customers as of Sunday last night around 10 o'clock. No power to those 13,000 customers. And when they say customers, they basically mean the person who's holding the bill, so one home can have multiple people in it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's 13,000 homes or 13,000, units. It could be 80,000 people. But look, I've been saying this for 25 years, and until I'm blue in the face. You have got to get yourself a generator, even a small generator. $400 or $500, whatever it is. If you can afford it, great. Get yourself a generator. Great peace of mind. And when the electricity goes out, at least you can keep the air conditioning on, or a lamp, or your refrigerator rolling. But you have to have a generator. You got to get one. Go to Costco. Home Depot's got them. Lowe's has them. I think Walmart's got them as well. And you can get a cheap one for a couple $100. It's great peace of mind. Fire that up when the electricity goes out to save all your food from thawing and spoiling, and to keep an air conditioner rolling, especially if you got young kids.
I got to say, in the past couple years, we've been dealing with all of the possible brownouts and blackouts and all that stuff. And aside from a little bit that we heard about, I think it was today, where they said they had to shut some people down for just an hour at a time. We haven't really heard anything about people being blacked out and all that stuff.
Yeah,
but
no, they've been doing a sensational job.
As bad as this heat has been.
Yep, a great job. The people who run our infrastructure when it comes to electricity, and I'm talking about the guys and gals out there, the linemen out there putting that crap together in 112, 115 degrees. They deserve a lot of credit.
As much as flack as, I guess the companies themselves that get from us, and deservedly so, they did a great job here keeping us cooled this summer.
I never understood this, though. The building, the LADWP building, downtown Los Angeles, they have 1.2 million lights in that building. And all of them are always on. It's like Dodger Stadium inside that building. I never understood that. They always ask us to conserve. And you drive by and you got to put sunglasses on at night if you're looking at that building. It's glaring. But you got to try to get yourself a generator, because in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years, we're going to see a lot more cars come online that are battery powered, and they're going to suck up a lot of this electricity. And you're going to get transformers that blow. You got AI out there, artificial intelligence. And anybody who knows anything about AI, even as little as I do, knows that they are power hungry. AI is run solely on a ton of power, like 5, 10, 15 times more than regular company. They are going to suck up a lot of power. So are the battery operated, the electric cars. And the next 4, 5, 6 years, you're going to see potentially a lot of areas without power. So invest in one. If you can, great. You're going to sleep better at night, knowing you can fire that sucker up when anything happens. All right, we're keeping an eye on all these fires. And then tomorrow, don't forget, tomorrow's the big debate. Kamala Harris tomorrow and Donald Trump. We're going to start at 5:30 here. Debate starts at 6. We got Mark Thompson coming in, and we have Mo Kelly coming in. So, yeah, Mark was supposed to go back east to visit his mom. And then his mom said, I can't deal with you, Mark. Please stay in L.A. And so he did. And so he's coming in tomorrow. All right. We are live on KFI AM 640.
Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. Now, you can always hear us live on KFI AM 640, 4 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and anytime on demand on the iHeartRadio app.